Wrigley's food is an absolute travesty to baseball. Like I've gone to 5 Cubs games this year already. The food has gotten somehow worse every single time. I keep thinking the hot dog's gonna get better, and it's like eating mushed garbage.
All right, today we have an amazing episode with an amazing guest, Mr. Sean Ely. Am I saying that right?
You're saying it right.
Perfect.
Nice job.
Right,
First try.
Sean Ely from Number 6 with Cheese. You can find him everywhere on social media, YouTube at Hey Sean Ely. And he's wearing a dope shirt right now, and I want to cut to that.
Yeah. I think it needs to be shown.
That's
what it is.
It is the highlight of Chicago, and so but you're actually not from Chicago.
I'm from Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know Eminem?
Transplant? Yeah, we roomed in college together. Yeah, we stayed in the same trailer. It was great. I don't know him personally. I did one time, however, play a pickup basketball game, no joke, with Kid Rock and Uncle Cracker.
No way.
Whoa.
Which is a crazy sentence to say. And at Second City, it was one of my like 2 truths and a lie. Yeah. And everyone was like, maybe Uncle Cracker, but not Kid Rock. I was like, no, he's got a core good basketball player, but don't know Eminem.
Who is the better shot?
Oh, Uncle Cracker's, Kid Rock's a better basketball player, but they all take smoke breaks. So that's like a crazy fact.
Are they ripping cigs or are they doobies?
Cigs, yeah, at the time. This was back in like 09. Okay. Yeah. A lot of cigs.
Gotcha, yeah.
But don't know Eminem, and I haven't been to his restaurant downtown yet, Mom's Spaghetti.
No
which
way.
is a real restaurant.
Is it like fancy?
No. Oh, God, no. You like order at a window, and then they tell you can come in, and there's like 3 things on the menu. There's like a bag of spaghetti or like a spaghetti sandwich and like a water.
No way.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
And you have, as a YouTube foodie, you haven't gone back
Not
home
yet.
and documented
Their
it?
hours are kind of weird, so I'm trying to get there.
Okay.
These are the things that I try to plan. I'm like, when am I going to get to Eminem's restaurant?
When am I going to taste his mom's
my
spaghetti?
vacation back home. Yeah.
Just bumping the song the whole time.
Oh,
like
you
going
have
in
to.
there, you're like hyping up for it.
Yeah, they'll be like, you got to play Lose Yourself, I think,
Yeah.
on the way down. And then on the way back, more of the upbeat stuff. You know?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, so being originally from Detroit, did you get into the comedy scene over there?
So I was in an improv troupe in college at Michigan State, but that was like literally zip, zap, zop and like the most bare bones improv you could ever do. But it was kind of like, okay, it made me realize like, this is a silly thing, and these are silly people that I like actually enjoyed hanging out with. Because it was also in a fraternity, so it was like the opposite of that. So it was nice to have both. And it was on the student newspaper. So it was like this really weird triangle of things in college, but like the improv thing. So I got into it there, but I ended up moving to Florida after I graduated. And then I was on a big like traveling improv team there. And then when I came to Chicago in 2013, I had already had like all these years of experience. So like I had asked if I could like test out of all the intro stuff because I was like, it'd be weird for me to go back and do all that again, but I wanted to pay the dues. But yeah, so I've been doing it a long time.
So you went through the A through E program?
So they let me skip that.
Okay.
So Second City was like, all right.
He's way better than this.
Yeah, he was like, you can audition for conservatory. And I was like, wow, okay. So I saved myself a whole year, which was really nice.
And a lot of money too.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
That's what that was probably more so why they were like, oh man, could probably get. So what back then it was like $340, $350. So they would have gotten like $1,500 from me probably, right? Or whatever. Got him.
Did you get conservatory on your first shot?
I did not.
Second?
I did not. Second try. Yeah. And that was very much like, oh man, I have never done like this style of improv with people. Cause like Florida, we weren't doing like, that audition. I'm sure a lot of people that like listen to this podcast know, like I'm assuming it's still just the 2 scenes and that's how they determine what. Okay.
Yeah.
So like that was very weird to me to like prove yourself in like a 20-second scene.
I agree.
Because I was with people, and then your scene partner too. Like I remember they were like, "All right, Sean and whoever step up with him," and the girl dropped to the floor of the stage and goes, "Get down!" And I was like, "Oh, we're in this," but the room fell silent, and I remember being like so taken aback by her leading the scene. It was I'll never forget. Because I'll never say her name, but I know that person, and I see her performing. I'm like, oh, we're still doing that. Yeah. I'll probably see her on the main stage next month or something. No, but yeah, it was a wild. Coming here to do comedy was like such a like eye-opening experience because it was, you have that whole thing of like, oh my god, this is where all the greats did it, and I'm doing like, want me to clean a bowl for you? Doing those scenes that come in like I'm gonna be great.
When like I guess at a younger age, like what piqued your comedy interest?
Letterman for me.
Oh, okay.
So my dad's like super blue collar, like worked as a butcher in a grocery store his whole life, like just literally 60-hour work weeks. And when he would come home and he would sit in front of the TV after dinner and watch Letterman. I've never like seen someone laugh harder and be so like such an escape from the world. And so, and I really looked up to my dad. So I was like, I want to make my dad laugh that hard. You know what I mean? It was like, that was the first time being like, I just love that this guy goes and works his ass off all day. And then this is like what he looks forward to, you know, having a drink at the end of the night or whatever and watching Letterman. So that was like my first big kind of like, I want to do something that does that to people.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah. No, I hear that.
Yeah.
For me, it was Whose Line Is That Anyway?
Oh my God. That was right up there too.
Like, yeah.
That proved that like it was a thing that you could do. It was like, oh, I could learn that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
And I know for you it was SNL.
It was SNL,
For
but like
sure.
the Farley, Sandler, Spade, like that.
The good
era.
years.
Yeah. Like the prime.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
sure.
Well, the prime after the like original. Like,
yeah,
because those are always like I'll go back and watch the like season 1, like
for sure. That's
'cause
true.
Those are like you gotta remember where it started.
Yeah,
like,
a lot of
where
those
it's
guys
ending, you're
in
like-
that realm, like it was like all these guys that were immediately getting movies like from that instantly, and it was oh wow, like if you go on that show, you just become a movie star.
Well,
And it's
yeah.
not always that way now, but back then it felt like every guy and was that way.
Yeah. Well, now it's like you get on there and now you can date someone super famous because like you have.
You was calling out Pete Davidson?
No, Colin Jost is married
Oh,
to Scarlett
Scarlett.
Johansson.
Gosh, she's
Yeah. And
So-
Sudeikis met Olivia Wilde.
Yep.
When they've been divorced now, but like that was why it was always crazy when somebody just like as a cast member who was like not that famous outside of the show was dating like a movie star.
Well, and they call them, they're like not ready for like primetime players, and then it's like they're like, oh, he's dating Olivia Wilde,
Yeah.
or like, like Pete Davidson with Kim K.
Everything.
Honestly, I didn't even connect that until now.
Yeah,
That's pretty accurate.
They say that week of doing that show is so unlike anything for even somebody who's a celebrity who's like doing movies or anything. And you go and do that, and it's such a different world, and you fall into it. Like that's why like people in improv, it's so easy to date someone and what you're doing. Like when you're like building a show with someone, because you're like, oh, like you're with that person all the time. You have all the same interests. You have this like crazy. That was like such a thing for me of moving here. I was like, oh, these are all just now girls who also want to be the funniest person in the room, who I'm hanging around all the time. Like it was such a wild thing. I'd never been around people like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy for like dating too. So I get the SNL thing. Yeah.
Were you like a class clown? In school?
No, I was like so buttoned up. I was like, I wanted like in school and stuff, I wanted to be like, good grades. And I was just always told, because I came from like kind of a rundown part of Detroit, which is called Redford, Michigan. So it's like not a lot of people know about it. So I was like, I have to work as hard as I possibly can to like get out of here or whatever it was. So it was like always in my mind.
yeah.
So yeah, I was like, I was like played football, but I was like always the smallest kid on the team. But I was like had good grades, but I had friends. So it was always like I was always trying to like I wanted to appease everybody. I think is what it was. That was like my whole life. That leads into comedy so well. Like, yeah.
Well, when I know this is going to be probably a hard question, but when did you realize that you liked food?
So because my dad was a butcher, like we loved, like food was a big thing in my house growing up. It was like a very blue collar thing. So I never went and did fancy things. Like we loved fast food and we loved buying steakums from the frozen food section. Like that was a fun meal for us. And when I got into doing video and like being in front of the camera, I saw how there was such a niche of that online. I was like, people review food, but they just like use their cell phones and it gets all these views and whatever. And so I met Corey, my business partner and comedy partner at Second City. And I was like, what if we tried doing this food style thing on YouTube? Because I've been doing YouTube for so long, but we did it in more of like our way, like vloggy, Second City style, like kind of making fun of it. Because originally it was like satirical where nobody needs to review fast food. Like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Anybody can get it for $1. So I thought it was funny. But then you realize how much people are actually like invested in it and love it and will take your word for it before they get the new fries from Wendy's or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it started as like kind of a joke and then kind of snowballed into now we kind of take it seriously and like our scores mean something to people when we rate it. So it's like really turning this wild thing. So yeah, it was just kind of a fun hobby that I saw a potential in. And then it's now been 6 years of doing that show.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Good
That's
for
insane.
you.
Yeah.
See, that blows my mind because I'm like, why would somebody give a shit about
Right.
what I have to say about this burger?
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it's like you kind of accidentally almost fell into that.
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much.
people do.
I
care
know.
what
And just
say
being
about
like, I
it.
think we can do it better because I had the experience of like flying a drone and being like a cinematographer. I was like,
Oh.
what if we did the show really often and had it look like something that could maybe be on Food Network,
Yeah.
but it was all the time. And like people like the guy that you can drink a beer with kind of thing. So
Yeah.
Corey and I kind of naturally fell into like, oh, these are just like the normal dudes making the show. they don't really have a shtick where they're trying to be like goofballs. That's just us yelling at each other and being goofs or whatever. And people attach themselves to that on YouTube because that YouTube started off as a place where it was like an escape for people. It was like, I'm going to make videos, but now like Kimmel's on it and Brie Larson has a huge channel. It's like, it started as just like a dude picking up a camera and having a fun thing that he did. Yeah. And like, that's why I fell in love with YouTube, you know? So we're trying to be like the everyday man that just enjoys going out with a buddy, getting food, and like bullshitting for half hour. You know,
see, that's kind of funny.
Admit, I will turn on your channel if I'm like, I don't know what to eat.
Yeah,
and like
it's like a resource.
Well, especially like just moving to this area, I'll be like looking at like things that are around.
Yeah, here where you guys are, we've reviewed pretty much every restaurant in this neighborhood. So
I can just be like, yeah, the Merck's Cheddar Burger at Kirkwood's. Like that's why I tried it. I was like, I don't know what to get on their menu. And
one of the most underrated burgers in the city. It's Kirkwood. I know Corey stands by that too. People don't talk about it. It's very good.
Yeah.
All right, so I have a lot of food questions. I like food.
Me too.
But hold on, let me backtrack. It is kind of funny how you guys were just like, let's kind of casually put together these videos, and if people enjoy us, because that's kind of what we do.
Right.
Though we don't say we're goose, we're just like we're idiots behind a camera talking into a microphone. We don't know what we're talking about. Yeah. But maybe
you fake it till you make it. Like literally the backbone of this industry.
Maybe people out there will enjoy it. But okay. Fast food for a second. What is the best fast food restaurant in your opinion? And what is the best fast food like meal? So it can be a burger or nuggets or
I always some of my favorite questions are like grilling people with these things. Like I'll always ask people like, all right, right now, what's your Mount Rushmore of fast foods?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and like for me, it's me bringing that up is it's so funny how much mine changes all the time. Like when the Popeyes chicken sandwich came out and it was only $4 and it was huge and great. I was like, Popeyes is like actually becoming a low key, like one of the best fast food restaurants. Yeah. And they've now modified. Corey and I had a buffalo chicken version of their chicken sandwich. And it was like they took just the burnt parts of like a chicken tender and threw it on a bun. And we were like, oh, Popeyes has fallen because all the chicken shortages. So my answers recently changed. I was like a big Popeyes guy. Like I think their fries are underrated, stuff like that. But I'd be lying if I didn't say that Taco Bell is still the number one to me. Cause I'm such like a get drunk and order like 7 things and then eat up. Like my fiance and I are like, we'll treat it like tapas. Like small plates, we'll get one of everything, cut it in half and eat it. And so that's how we eat. So Taco Bell's still number one to me. Cause I can't imagine if I could only pick one fast food restaurant to exist, it'd be Taco Bell because I'd like be at a loss without it. And it's open till 4. Like it's, you know,
and like it's the perfect after
it's and I'm just such a like drinker, so I love eating that stuff. Like, and it delivers on all the apps really fast.
Well,
so sad.
It's like strictly convenience sake.
Hey guys, I'm in my mid-30s and I still order Taco Bell delivered at 2:30 in the morning.
No, that's actually a really good point. Taco Bell is the only fast food restaurant where you can order 6 things and not feel bad about it.
Yeah, it's like you hate yourself because of what you did. Yeah, but like it's not that expensive and like. You can get different types of things like Wendy's and Burger King and McDonald's. Most of the stuff you order 3 or 4 things. That's their whole menu. Taco Bell, for whatever reason, has like 28 variations of the same thing. But there's something about folding it into a star and calling it a Crunchwrap Supreme that you like love. Yeah. So I think Taco Bell, but I think the best meal, like I've always been such a sucker for like the 4 for $4 from Wendy's when I'm on a road trip because obviously the price, but then also you're getting like a bunch of different things. And I like to like when I'm on road trips or I'm driving to gigs and stuff, I like the eating a lot of different things and not having to look down. So like nuggets, fries, the burgers are small enough to eat. True. Like, so, cause I travel a lot for work and stuff too. So
junior bacon cheeseburger,
the JBC dude, the JBC is legendary.
Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich, I think is one of the most underrated sandwiches out there.
Yeah. Cause once all the other stuff started coming out, they were like, we've been doing this. Yeah. Yeah. And their spicy nuggets when they come back are great. And
Have you tried the Burger King chicken sandwich?
The Chiking?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And we got
have some respect
Jackson, the Chiking.
Sorry.
Chiking. Yes. Corey and I had like a lot of fast fooders online were like, I can't believe the version you guys got because for whatever reason, we just happened to get it from the guy that day that was having a great day and made it like it was a premier item from a sit-down restaurant. The best chicken sandwich. We like at the time loved it. Just found out that it's such a pain in the ass to make at the restaurants that they're discontinuing it and going back to a frozen patty again.
What? What?
Well,
because they're hand breading it in the store.
Oh.
Well, and it was
So they're really
pretty
cooking
similar
it.
to like the original Popeyes.
Oh my God, yeah. And it was even better because the hand breading was like even more ridiculous. Like they were dunking it twice in buttermilk and all that stuff. And then this thing came out that was like Burger King like employees are trying to quit because they are sick of making that thing. It was gross. Like I really like the live look into like these people's lives. Like I'm not doing it for $7 an hour. No, I'm not doing it.
That was like my go-to because I used to live downtown right like on Jackson and Dearborn right by the Burger King.
Yeah.
And then that Burger King closed down, but I didn't realize it because it was like the week after. And I put it in the app and I was like, oh, on Jackson. I'm like, the address looks weird, but it's on Jackson. I know that.
Yeah.
And I book it to like there. And then all of a sudden I get there and it's like boarded up, like, or they were renovating or whatever, but it's like the windows are shut.
Oh, for sure.
And like I was like,
yeah.
I had to walk all the way to Union, past Union, to get to the Burger King over there just so I could get the Chiking sandwich. And it was the spicy buffalo one.
Okay.
That
Did you like
one,
it?
I thought it was good.
Yeah. Two things you made me think of. One, insane that you lived in the Loop.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm hoping you guys have done a whole expose about that. I feel like I don't know anyone that has lived near Jackson and Dearborn.
Listen, like
That's crazy.
I understand.
I'm so invested.
I don't know why people live downtown.
I don't either.
Unless
And
you
I
literally
did-
No, well, I live in
Yeah.
River North, but I live in a part of like River North that doesn't feel like downtown, but I'm close enough. I can walk to Old Town. I can walk to Second City in like 12 minutes.
Oh,
I can walk to West Town. I can walk to River North. Like I like being in this like little weird area where you can be so close to everything. The Loop to me is crazy because doesn't everything close at like 6?
Yeah, that's what it was awful.
It's
like,
weird.
Anything that I wanted, I had to order from like a Taco Bell in Streeterville.
Yes. Oh,
And-
which I'm very familiar with that Taco Bell.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I had to not like, well, there was a Taco Bell on Dearborn, but I one time went with a buddy after the bar and there was like 3 of us and my roommate at the time went back and he thought we died because he was like, you guys were gone for 3 hours. This place is packed with people and we're just waiting. And at one point my buddy was like, fuck my food. We're leaving.
Yeah, I've done that too.
And the next time I went there, I sent a picture. I was like, look where I am. He goes, can you get my order? It should be done now.
My second thing I was going to say to you is how humbling is it when you are going to get food and you like are downtown and you go into the train station to get food? Like, have you ever done that? Like because like a lot of times, a lot of those fast food restaurants are in like Ogilvy or in Union Station. So it'll say like your delivery driver is picking up your order and they're in the train station. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to like a food court. So like there's been times where I've been like drunk downtown. And I'm like, I really want whatever. And I'm like, oh man, I got to go into Ogilvy and I live here. Like I'm going into like the thing, people are coming and going. You can take a train to California out of that place, but I'm like, no, I'm just trying to find like the Bubba Gump shrimp to go or whatever. Like I'm just like, that's so humbling to go into a train station or a food court as a resident of the neighborhood. Oh, I felt like such a piece of trash.
So what happened where I was living downtown though, that was only because I moved like March of 2020.
Okay.
I had signed my lease and like the
good
next
timing.
week,
Exactly.
the world went to shit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, it's actually kind of a nice neighborhood,
Oh,
nice
yeah.
area. And it was super
Empty.
quiet. No one, you could like ride your bike through
Oh, it
the
was
streets.
incredible. I loved it.
I loved it. And my parents like lived like 45 minutes south, like right over the border in
Oh,
Indiana.
okay.
So
So
I was
you're
able to
already
just
down there.
go back and forth.
How nice is it? Like, that's a good thing about getting out of the city. It takes no, like, if you live up here and you got to like go to Lakeshore, like when I go back to Michigan, I used to live up here. Just getting to where I live now in River North was like 25 minutes. You'd always add another half hour onto your drive.
Yeah.
So it is nice, like the escape out of the city.
Yeah, because I lived right by. So I was able to get to my parents' house in like 45 minutes, and then like my girlfriend's family, they live west of the city, but I was right by like Ida B. Wells.
That's money.
290.
Yeah.
And I could get anywhere so quickly.
Oh, for sure. That's where it's great.
Like now I got to get on like 294, loop around, go to 290, or like
Yeah.
Chicago traffic is definitely back.
Yeah,
It sure is.
Definitely back.
Yeah.
especially for the summer.
Yeah,
It's-
no
I just
shit.
drove back from Wisconsin the other, like literally on Sunday, and I was like, oh, we back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Sunday at like dinner time, I was like, this is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
You will be hitting a 42-minute slowdown. I was like, cool.
Remember when it was 8?
Yeah, I'd be like 8, I'd be like, sweet.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
good, that's perfect.
Yeah, it would be at red on your Google Maps, but you'd be cruising through it. You're like, somewhere is going to give eventually.
Yeah.
This one was the red hadn't even happened yet. I was at a standstill. I was like, oh God.
You're like, yeah, thanks. I picked up on it. Like,
thanks, Google Maps.
but yeah, I don't recommend living downtown. I go, especially when they did like the lockdown.
Yeah,
and all the bridges were up, and I was like, I can't get out.
You're basically trapped.
Get in. Like,
yeah, it's like a shut in.
Yeah,
I was like,
I have no idea what I'm gonna do. Like, even like my DoorDash order was like, sorry, like
unable to complete.
Yeah,
it's on a boat in the river.
I'm like, nothing's open, and they closed us off from like the mainland.
It's kind of wild. Yeah. That was a fun time.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
It feels like a blur
Time
now.
flies when you're having a great time.
Yeah.
It literally feels like it's been 5 years since that. It has not been.
Yeah, so I ended up spending a bunch of time in Lakeview.
Yeah.
What did you do like for most of your time in COVID?
So I was still making number 6 with cheese video. We literally didn't miss a day.
Okay.
So like, because we could still go out and we were supporting local restaurants. So it kind of worked out well. We used to do, we film Monday to Friday. So we'd have, a video come out every single weekday for 6 years. So we didn't want to stop it. So we started filming a bunch on the same days. And instead of doing 2 fast foods, we shifted to doing 2 locals for the week. So we were supporting an extra local video, local restaurant.
That's cool.
So we did. So my life didn't change as much as everybody else's because I was already working from home. I've been an entrepreneur, worked for myself for like 5 years before that, up to that point. So it was just weird having Allie, my fiance, home all the time for her full-time job because I kind of had the run. Like my home is my studio. You guys probably know that world of like you're filming there, you're editing there, you're doing everything there. And I was by myself all day, so I liked it. So my biggest thing was just like, I have another person around all the time.
Yeah.
I was still running out and filming. I just didn't do comedy anymore. I didn't go to shows, but I just filmed a bunch more. Like right now I'm doing a video on my personal channel every single day of the year for 2022. So I'm almost at 6 straight months of doing a food like vlog video. And so I started actually I was like, let me see if I could do like a pilot program of that. So April 2020, I did a video every day of April. And it was like stuff about my childhood, food, like workouts outside, like anything I could do to just make content. And I really loved it. So then for this year, I was like, I'm going to do what I did in COVID. So that kind of motivated me to be like, oh, with number 6 with cheese, I could also make a video every day for my channel and just kind of like double everything that I was doing.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Are you ever like, this is stupid, but I'm going to go through with it anyways? And
yeah, because there's
we'll
days
see
I'm like,
happens?
I'm so exhausted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to film. I don't want to be on so much. I film everything. I have to edit it all. And like my style is very much not just turning the camera on and turning it off. It was like a lot of edits, music, and I put all that into every video. So I more so just get burnt out of like, I don't want to be on camera and then also edit for 2 hours every night.
Especially like listening to yourself.
Yeah, and I've been doing that long enough where I'm over the fact of how much I hate my face and voice on camera. I'm like, I look at it as like that's a different person.
Yeah.
So I had like I developed a character on my show that was like editing based Sean versus on camera Sean, and that they're like 2 different people. And editing based Sean is so cynical about on camera Sean because he's so happy. It's like it basically be like your Saturday night partying self and your Sunday morning self.
Yeah.
Like how much your Sunday self hates Saturday you. That's basically what an editing version of you is after you've just like on camera did a 47-minute raw clip and you're like, all right, turn this into an 8-minute banger video. So yeah, I get burnt out, but like, what else am I doing? Like this is, you know what I mean? Like this was always a hobby and then now it's my income. So I was like basically just having fun all the time and making money doing it. So I was like, I really can't complain. Like I don't have an office. I don't have a boss. I don't have, so I just try to remind myself of that of like, you created this dumb life for yourself.
Yeah.
Enjoy it,
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That's super
But it's
cool.
exhausting.
Well, I love your editing.
Thanks, man.
Like the quick cuts, and then like you had one where you were interviewing or you were doing the show and had a cut in where you were at the Sox game.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like a lot of that.
So
stuff.
are you lean more towards the Sox?
So when I moved here, huge Tigers fan because I grew up in Detroit. And when I moved here, I hated the White Sox because that's a big rivalry. But I got a job at Sox, and I was the video guy on camera and behind the camera for like 2 years for the Sox. So I fell in love with like the administrative side. And then when I would interview players and do stuff with like Abreu, and I got to do a big thing with Frank Thomas, and like you start to be like, man, these guys are like awesome guys. And it kind of made me look at sports way differently. It made it like humanize it a lot more for me. So I started to I love going to Sox games way more than Wrigley. I think the South Side is way more my roots of growing up in Detroit and like going down to Tiger Stadium with my dad and like having only $40 and having to spend 10 of it on parking. We each got a hot dog. Like the South Side feels way more like my upbringing. Where when I go to Wrigley, it feels like I'm at like a Nike conference or something. It's like a brand. I love both for such different reasons. So like to answer your question, like I don't like either team more than the other. I just don't hate them as much as I used to. Yeah. I like look at baseball as I'm so excited I get to live in a city where I can go to a Cubs game on a Monday and a Sox game on a Wednesday and two different complete experiences and like eat and drink and be an idiot and get on the train is incredible here. Like I just love the sport so much. And the Tigers suck so hard that it's I can't even be mad. Yeah. They're so bad. They're back to their old badness again. I'm like, oh.
They haven't been existent in like 20 years.
It's when I was in college was the like Maglio Ordonez walk-off homer, like to go to the World Series. They beat the A's and like, so they were really good when I was in college and like went to the World Series 2 or 3 times and then have just been like after Verlander left, it was just a nightmare. So as a Tigers fan, I've kind of checked out and just become a fan of baseball. Yeah. Just like that guy. I'm like Rob Lowe when he went to the NFL game and he wore the NFL hat. That's how I feel with baseball. I mean, I've seen a hat with a baseball emoji on it. I'm that guy.
Well, and it's like with, so my dad grew up Sox fan.
Yeah.
But my mom's entire side is like Cubby Blue, born and raised.
That's fun.
So, but like my dad loves the Cubs. Like, once he moved to Chicago, would go to Cubs games all the time.
Yeah.
And he kind of became more of a Cubs fan.
Mm-hmm.
But like, again, he's from South Side. So he would just take the train, go grab a hot dog, skip school, do the thing. And he, so one year they took me when I was like 7 for my birthday to a Sox game. And they put my, happy birthday, Jackson. And I was like, that was cool, like a few years ago, I was like, that was cool, all this stuff. Once I became an adult, and I was like, both stadiums are nice, but and my mom was like, really? Because at the time, all you kept saying was, I'm not even a Sox fan. Like I identified so much with being a Cubs fan.
That's funny because like you had that growing up where there was 2 teams. Like our thing in Michigan was just Michigan State football rivalry, in basketball. Yeah. So like to see it on a professional level was so wild to me moving here. I was like, they get 2 MLB teams, both kind of loved for different reasons. And like the Cubs not winning a World Series for so long. And then I was like in the streets right outside the stadium when they won in 2016 and like filmed all that. And we have it on our channel and stuff. And I was like, that was so cool to be here for that. Like that was a nerd out moment. I was like, I don't even deserve to enjoy this. Like I didn't deal with this toil that all these people had to deal with forever.
I mean, it may happen once every 100 years. It is a historical moment.
I'm a Cardinals fan. They're not doing good.
So
I just went to the Cardinals Cubs game the other night.
What night?
The one Sunday when they beat them in extras. Again, like two in a row. But...
I went on Thursday.
Oh, nice.
But no, like whenever people ask me, like, oh, like Cubs games or White Sox games, I'm like, well, it's all about the environment for me. Like at the White Sox stadium, you're more likely to see a fight, but at the Cubs stadium, you're more likely to see like a frat bro throw up in a trash can.
And which is so wild because I was saying that again to somebody recently. I was like, man, I feel like every time I go to the Sox though, like you have to do so much to piss somebody off on the South Side. Yeah. Wrigley people get so triggered so fast.
That's true.
The last 2 Cubs games I've gone to, I've seen someone get thrown out for fighting. I was like, what is happening to the stadium? I think it's because they're so bad that people are more like amped up. They're like, I don't know. It's so weird.
Bleachers, I'm guessing?
No, behind the like home plate.
Oh my God.
Because I normally sit like third base side or first base side, like a little bit ways up, but like the view there is so gorgeous. I like the bleachers, but that's like if I'm going with a bunch of friends and we're getting wrecked in the beginning of the day. Yeah. But like a Thursday night game or a Sunday game with like my fiance, like we'll sit up there. But literally in our section, like I'm assuming my buddy gave me the tickets, but I'm assuming like $100 seats. People are just fighting each other. It's like and it wasn't even a Cardinals fan and a Cubs fan. It was 2 Cubs fans. That's the best part.
I mean, after being like 6 feet and separated for so long, it's kind of good to see people
get 6 feet into someone's face. Yeah, like
he's probably sitting there going, "Oh, it's going to be another 108 years." He's like, "We're going to come back." Like, I always say you could find someone passed out drunk in the trough. I'm like, that's always
still love that. Still love peeing in a bathtub though. That's great.
And like, it's like, hey guys, we're in this together.
I love that Wrigley renovated and kept that. Yeah, they were like, well, we don't want to, and I think they updated them. I think they're newer troughs.
They look like a new chrome when I went.
Yeah.
Where did I go?
They're like, let's not add urinals. Let's add just new troughs. Just do what we've been doing.
Where did I'm trying to remember. Like somewhere recently, I went on a trip where I went to a game. and it was the old school troughs that were like the bathtubs from the 50s with the ice in them and stuff.
Oh,
and the whole line's like, let's see how many we can melt. Like, and that was like the group was like, yeah. I was like, everyone's holding their dicks. I'm like, what are we doing? I was like, what? Where was I? Was I in Philly? Probably, but it was somewhere. I was like, this is wild camaraderie. Like, I've never seen anything like this.
It does sound like a Philly thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of baseball and food, strictly environment based.
Yeah.
Is the best meal like a ballpark hot dog and beer? Like strictly environment? Like what can be it?
I think like I think the Maxwell Street Polish with the grilled onions.
Oh yeah.
Down south, like at the cell at guaranteed rate with a beer is the best like two-handed thing you can do.
Okay.
Like I love that Sox have like updated that food to a way where it's nicer than actual restaurants. You can get a Cuban sandwich that's amazing, like made by somebody who's an actual like Cuban immigrant to America who works for that stand. You can get like you can get a pretzel in a pizza box with 4 dipping sauces. Like Wrigley doesn't have that.
No.
Wrigley's food is an absolute travesty to baseball. Like I think that they had this thing where they don't want to update too much and they're afraid of like the old school Cubs fans being like, don't change what we know.
Yeah,
you know,
we know losing and shitty food.
That bun better be stale as shit and that dog better be cold. And also Wrigley now, by the way, they have grab and go where you can just walk up like a fat, like in a jail, like you're like, oh, what do we got? And then you put it on this state of the art weighing machine that goes bing, Goose Island 312. Bing, Polish, $17. Sox is still like, what'd you get? Like, we'll ring it up, but the food's way better. It's so counterintuitive. Like, I've gone to 5 Cubs games this year already. The food has gotten somehow worse every single time. I keep thinking the hot dog's going to get better, and it's like eating mushed garbage. And then you go to the Sox, and it's like, I've never had a bad piece of food. But I do still think Maxwell Street Polish, like, it's one of the best things about Chicago. The Chicago-style hot dog needs to get subbed out for a Polish. Like, they need to stop touting the like celery, salt, and pickle and do the Polish. I think that's the best thing. And then just like you need to get like an old style. You need to get like a really crappy light beer.
All right, we need to go to a Sox game.
Like as much as I want to drink an 8% double IPA while watching baseball, I don't want to. You know, what I mean?
You're
That's
right.
great you have that, but
Well, that's the thing is like, so I love Miller Lite.
Miller Lite and lime.
just
and
take
lime.
that clip by the way and just use that. I love Miller Lite. Like, just use that, please.
But you can only get it at Sox. You can't get it at because
they're Budweiser. They're Budweiser.
Budweiser, and
Yeah.
you can get Old Style.
Yes.
So that's where I drink Old Style.
And Stella.
Yeah.
But Old Style at Wrigley's great. I love it. That's probably my favorite like light beer of choice, just because of the whole like Chicago handshake Malort thing. I'm like, I love that little dumb thing
So
about
are
Chicago.
you a big Malort guy?
Yeah, this was literally sent to me by the director of marketing for CH Distillery that owns like the only contact I want to have in this city is just the Malort brand rep. That's my thing. Yeah, I love the story behind it. It's obviously gross for like the best reason. I had such a good introduction of it. Like when I wanted to move here, I came up and interviewed for a job. You guys remember Red Eye? That was the Tribune owned it.
Yeah.
So I was a video director for Red Eye when I moved here. That was like my gig. That's what got me here. And I was like, we did so much stuff with Malort where they would do swag. And then like I went to Redmond's my first ever time going and having a shot of Malort in the middle of the day, like a Thursday at 3 p.m., like before a Cubs game.
Perfect time.
And I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever, like, how is that a thing? And just like fell in love with it. And now that they got acquired by a bigger brand and they're doing way more stuff like with the brand, I love it. Like, I think it's so Chicago. I just love that we have this like dirty swill trash water that you drink and you pay like $4 for. And they're like, don't chase it just yet. You got to let it sit. All right. Now take a sip of that Old Style. Like, I love that. It's so dumb. Like, I dig it. I have a bottle at my apartment all the time. I normally have airplane bottles in my bag that I'll like bring out for people when I do stuff like this, but I've probably drank them all because I'm a degenerate. But would you guys like Malort?
Yeah, I like it.
Did you like the culture of it or do you like the
I
drink?
describe it as sweaty socks and pickle juice.
Yeah.
But like I'll drink it. Like it's, I mean, this is with any alcohol. The more you drink it, the more it's like, oh, it's not so bad.
Oh yeah.
But like after one, I'm like,
Well,
okay.
it's kind of like you can drink Bird Dog neat, but like by the third one, you're like, this is good. You know?
Yeah. I think you're just numb to it. And it's
like your taste buds are gone, your tongue, you can't feel it. You're like, I like it.
I love that it like erupts a whole friend group into either like no fucking way or kind of like we're in it together. Like I love that. And like as I'm now in my like later 30s, like getting there, my friends who are always so gung-ho about it are now like you need to grow up. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, what are we going to drink? And people, I'm like, and then they'll order a round of Fireball and I go, that's better.
Yeah,
you want maple syrup? Like, I don't want my shots to go down my throat like this.
Yes.
Hold on.
You feel
Hold on. Okay. Like literally, no, I want it in my stomach and metabolizing immediately. No,
that's true. I would take Malort over Fireball any day.
Yeah,
that's the right choice.
I got into we had done a few Malort shots on a couple different podcasts, and then occasionally I would go out and be like, yeah, let's do it. But I didn't. I used to be like, I'd hate myself after it. I'd be like, okay. But then my girlfriend's family, her dad loves Malort.
He sounds great
because he goes it gets the party started.
Absolutely.
And I think
it's a different night after that. It kind of is like the Sherpa into like, oh, we're going there. Yeah. And we're doing this. And that's the night.
Because there's like, I was like, oh, I had so much tequila tonight. Or it's like, oh, I had way too much whiskey. It's like, oh, that was a Malort.
Yeah. 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 Like it changes the course of a Monday so much.
Yeah.
and I'll wake up hungover, but after Malort, I feel like I'm not nauseous. Like I won't wake up nauseous. And I feel like it settles my stomach.
I never have any hangover after Malort. I don't know why. I'm also don't believe that there's actually alcohol in it.
It's just different combinations.
Like they paid someone off to get the 35% on the label. I don't know. I don't know if I buy that.
It's true. I'm surprised we don't have a bottle in the house.
I know. We gotta get one of those.
It should be my new thing that I just always bring it to anything I do. And it's like, so that way if it was on your bar cart, it'd be like, oh, Sean brought this. Still full.
Yeah.
Is that label even cracked? You dicks.
But if you read the label on it, you're like, oh, that doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, liqueur sounds delightful.
Yeah, you're like, it sounds refreshing.
Yeah.
And then it's the opposite, but it's like a botanical with
it's the copywriting should be given some sort of an award.
Yeah, because it like really sells that shit.
Yeah,
and you have it, and you're like,
had it chilled.
Yes. Also, do you know they have a spritzer with it now too? Mars Brewing collabed with Malort, and it comes in a 12-ounce can, and it's like a summery, grapefruity, almost like a Paloma, but instead of tequila in it, it's Malort. So it's got that kind of bite to it, but it's kind of refreshing. So your mind is just spinning. It's like, what is going on? Like literally, so they sell it. You can get it like at Benny's. It's like a 4 or 6 pack of, it's so deceiving because you're like, you want this spritzer? As a guy, you're like, I don't drink, remember like the old joke about like wine coolers, but it's like a spritzer. It's so delicious, but it's like not good. And they sell them and you can get it at CH Distillery, like at the bar. It's hilarious. So yeah, that chilled is kind of like weird. It messes with your mind.
That sounds insane.
See, I never used to like wine coolers, but I like the White Claws now.
Yeah, seltzers have really taken over.
Yeah,
it's
crazy. I'm like,
the High Noons are kind of kicking it now over White Claw. Like
High Noons are the best, but they're insane. Like the price comparison.
Yeah,
High Noons
it's
are
like
crazy.
$30.
Ooh, ranch waters. I could drink 35
ranch water before.
We did a bunch of like reviews of like ranch water seltzer. I like a regular ranch water, like made. Yeah. But when they try to can it, I think it's like a bastardized. No, not a canned version.
So you have done like alcohol reviews?
Yeah, we do them every Friday.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like it'll be like a full lineup of a seltzer or beers or whatever. We like our brew and review section of the show is always like a frozen food item and then like a new beer or a new drink or whatever. So we've had a lot. We started doing full roundup of seltzers. So like when those were getting popular, we did every flavor of White Claw for a video, every Truly, every High Noon, all the ranch waters. And like people, and we both don't really like seltzers. So the comedy comes from watching us like try to say anything positive about it, and then it just going very badly. Like being
how
mean.
Many do you drink? Like how many do you just sip on one?
We normally like for the reviews, if like a variety pack, has like 4 flavors in it, we basically just like you'll drink like half of each one kind of thing. So you're really only having like 2 kind of thing. But that'd get out of hand.
Well, it'd be hilarious if like, today we're reviewing Malort, for example, and it's just
this whole bottle has to go.
It's like 2 shots in, halfway done with the bottle, and then the bottle's empty.
We had a like little tradition going for a while where at the end of every episode we'd shotgun one of the seltzers.
Oh, that's tough.
I mean, and it's like putting Mentos in a Coke. It's like in your whole throat though.
It's
and
so
people
much
loved
spicier.
it.
It's so much spicier going down.
I go, give me the spicy pineapple one. I'm gonna shotgun this. And like taking a butter knife and putting, because Corey'd always be like, or he'd hand me like a knife out of his knife block instead of like a key. He'd be like, here. I'm like, I don't like this. Is not safe. Like,
shotgunning seltzers is a different ballpark than just regular beers for sure.
Oh my God, yeah. It's like a bomb went off.
It is, especially in the stomach.
Science.
Yeah. Have you done the Sprite challenge yet?
No, what's a Sprite challenge?
Are you big on TikTok at all?
Not as much as I should be. So I definitely miss out on trends because of that. Because I'm big YouTube. So
we did it, but it was like just a 16 ounce or 12 ounce bottle. How big was it?
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah, and you chug it and you try to do it without burping, like until you finish it.
It's impossible.
We both did it.
Oh, you did?
We both did it, yeah.
But then afterwards, we were like,
oh my
god,
it just came out of you.
That's the thing about seltzers we always say is like you get full from like all the carbonation. So it's like hard to drink a lot of them. So Corey and I still like very much light beer guys. Like whenever we do our live shows and stuff, we used to do them live like at the Annoyance Theater, and now we do them like on YouTube and stuff. We'll just go through like a 12-pack of Old Style like it's water because it's just you're so used to that carbonation. You give me a few White Claws and I'm literally nursing that thing for like an hour. And they're like, Sean, it's getting kind of warm in your hand. I was like, I don't like this.
Who's the bar rescue guy? Shut it down.
Oh, I can't think of his name.
John Taffer. Thank you for your help.
Sorry.
Thank you for your help.
I know.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. He said that you can drink more drafts than cans and bottles because bottles have more gas and like carbonation inside of them. So if you're in an environment where you're just trying to drink as much as possible, always do drafts. But then he also said you can just pour a can or a bottle into a cup too, and that'll release the gas as well.
That's a good tip.
So there you go.
But I prefer bottles.
I love bottles.
Like I go bottles, cans, draft.
I 100% agree. That is the ranking for me too. There's also certain beers are completely different out of a bottle. Like if you drink a Corona out of a can instead of a bottle, you're a psychopath.
Yes, agree. And I feel like if you don't put a lime on it, you're a psychopath.
Yeah, if it's available and you don't do it, that's weird.
If it's not available, you're just living off the land.
Yeah,
at this point.
yeah. You know what my white whale is? When I find it, I always buy it because I think they only sell it in 6-packs. So my light beer of choice in college, what everybody at Michigan State drank was Busch Light. Like that was our beer pong bar beer. And when you can find it in bottles, buy it. I don't know what they do to those beer in those bottles. It's a delicacy. It's great out of cans, because like you know what you're drinking. It's nothing. But something about an Old Style too. Old Style out of a bottle is perfect. So nice Tuesday night.
We were talking about the Indy 500 before we started recording, and like his RV, he's like, yeah, we got 4 30 racks of Busch Light. And like
for beer bonging and chugging, like you're not you're not going for taste.
No, yes, correct. Like so they serve a purpose. There's a beer for every occasion, and my beer of choice would be a Busch Light 100% of the time.
Well, here's another thing with a beer bong: do you do it cold or do you do it is it ice cold or do you like it a little bit?
I like it in the middle.
Okay.
Which when it's offered to you, you don't get that choice.
No,
it is what it is.
And
so when you do it really cold though, sometimes it does go down. But then you feel like you like sucked off a snowman or something, like literally in your throat. Because everyone's done that, right? Frosty, where'd you go?
Only once a year.
Yeah. But like I remember in college when we'd have the beer bongs, like it was always like the beer was always way too cold. Or it was way too warm. Like at the end of the day, it was like it tastes like pennies. Yeah. You ever have that? Like Busch Light to me, warm Busch Light is like penny. Or maybe Bud Light's like pennies.
No,
I still have that.
Coors is the one. But Coors tastes like pennies. Whether it's
cold, medium,
it doesn't matter the temperature. Nothing's changing it.
I went to Golden, Colorado, and like actually went to the brewery,
a banquet.
Yeah, and like got to have all the beer out of the tap from the. It really is a completely different beer. Either that or the placebo effect is so real. But like my fiance, who does not would ever drink a Coors Light, like now, she was like, "This is like." Literally God's tears. Like, what is going on? I was like, God's tears. But it was so different. I was like, it really was crazy. Like right out, it's because it travels and sits in the cans. It like skunks. It really does. Yeah. And how many times does it really get hot then cold? And they like to say it doesn't. But
well, see, and I think the same thing. Like this might be a hot take, but I think Guinness is trash.
I do too.
But I think Guinness from Ireland.
Oh yeah, if you get it Dublin, it's not even. It's a
Dublin.
Different beer. You go Dublin. It's a different beer.
I think it'd be an absolutely different like world.
Absolutely. Like that. It's like one in Rome. It's just.
I have a couple of friends who have been there, like to the actual like brewery.
Yeah.
And they were like, it is phenomenal.
Oh, and the way they pour it. I mean, people here. The guy that got a job at like Guthrie's doesn't know how to pour a Guinness. You know what I mean?
There's an art to it.
Literally. Right.
But I don't get me wrong. I still thoroughly enjoy Guinness. Like around here,
I'll get
out of a bottle.
If I'm with somebody, like you're getting a drink with somebody, and they're like, I'm gonna get a Guinness. I like to match the person I'm with a lot of the times. So I'm pretty like easy to please. So I'm like, yeah, we're doing that together. You know what I mean? I don't need to get a hazy IPA right now. Let's both drink Guinnesses. You know. Yeah. Yeah, I think, and like St. Patty's Day, like anything in March is always fun to like just do that. I love the situational stuff and like holidays. I mean, it's easy to get me like just ready for.
True, like around Christmas time, like I come out of my bed and do a shot of Rumplemans.
It's like brushing your teeth 15 times. Right? It's like the best breath you can have.
And drinking Listerine.
Yeah. I had a night recently where, have you guys ever been to Green Door Tavern in River North by Mr. Beef?
Not. Yes.
They have like a speakeasy downstairs, whatever. But they have the shot wheel still, which is hilarious because the people that go there are not like young, 20-somethings. It's like established adults, people that have been in Chicago a long time, industry people. And for whatever reason, they still have the wheel. And I swear to God, 9 times out of 10 lands on Rumplemans. And everyone's breath in that bar smells delicious. But I had a shot of it recently, and I was like, Rumplemans kind of hits. I was like, I have not been it's been a while. It was a big college thing. Yeah. It's like maybe my new thing going forward is I'm just going to buy everyone shots of Rumplemans and wreck people.
It's always served cold. Well, it should be served cold.
I don't think even if it's warm, I think it stays cold. Like its sitting temperature for some reason is like 44 degrees. I don't know why.
Well, it's like you just brush your teeth and like you drank something really cold, like it makes your mouth freeze.
Yeah,
it's like Frosty came in.
Or having like an Icebreakers mint.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like just takes your
those things that you put on your tongues,
like,
the Listerine strips.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Talk about
in high school, that was like, I'm going to get some of the dance tonight, and you throw like a Listerine strip in, you're like, it's chemical melting on your throat,
right?
And then no girl would talk to you, be like, cool though, but
they're like, that guy's choking in the corner.
Yeah,
he's like,
Dylan.
Yeah, exactly.
Tongue's light blue. No, I couldn't drink Rumplemans for a long time because I had a bad experience in high school. Like someone had brought it to a party.
Oh, everyone has that.
And
that
I
thing.
was like, all right, cool. Yeah, like it was like that UV blue and peach schnapps were like 3 parties within my high school time. And I was like,
you had PTSD for a long time.
I still won't drink UV blue or peach schnapps.
I don't know if I've ever had UV blue.
UV blue is.
I see the bottles. I know what it looks like, but I've seen the ads.
It's blue.
It's just blue vodka. I mean, blue raspberry vodka. But when so blue raspberry vodka and the peach schnapps, that was the same night, and that's why I will not touch either of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gross. Mine was Jaeger. I had a bad high school night with Jaeger, and then pretty much for the next 10 years, like if I even smelled it. And I was a bartender at the Arrogant Frog at Southport and Fullerton for a little while. I would do like Michigan State games and stuff and just kind of slinging beers and shots. It wasn't really like I didn't know how to make much.
Right.
But yeah, when people would order Jaeger, it was like kind of like, oh God. Like I was
Make
like,
your lip quiver.
Brings you right back. Yeah. Like up to that floor, that my friend's basement floor that I woke up on. And when I was 17, I was like,
that's literally what happened to me. I had in high school, I went to a very small like farm high school.
Mm-hmm.
All my friends dipped.
Oh yeah.
Like, you need to dip. So I threw one in, didn't like it, swallowed it. Don't do that.
No, not do that.
Followed it, just picking up a Fireball and just chugging it.
Oh.
That night I slept with the toilet and pooped my pants.
If that night wouldn't have ended that way, I'd be concerned for you. I'd be like, you need to start doing some challenges or something.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Yeah, the dipping thing. Like, because I went to like an all guys Catholic high school, like good football team, like all that. And so it was like everybody was just out trying to like out bro each other. And it was always like people chewing Red Man. Like that was a big thing. Like who can do the red? I was like, if I literally threw in any, like even like wintergreen, whatever, like the easiest stuff, I was like buzzing out of my mind. Like I could do a gas mask of weed and feel better than if I dipped for 5 minutes. I don't know what it is about my mind and body, but man, it wrecks me.
I dipped until I was about 18.
I dipped for like a year when I was in Wyoming, but like I just literally did it to go to sleep. Like
it does mellow you a lot. I did a couple. Like I've done pouches before where that, and then they have just the nicotine pouches or whatever they are. Where it's not even, I use those. It doesn't even have. I like that. That's a little more chill, and I don't do that a lot. But like same thing. If somebody I'm with is like into that and they're like, you want one? I traditionally just don't turn things down. I've realized like I'm not, because I never want to be the guy that's like, no, I'm good. Like I don't think I've ever said no, I'm good.
Yes, and
yeah, it's a very. It's just literally circles back.
Improv teaches you.
It's like okay, I guess we're going here. Yeah, I never had to learn that. That was just my lifestyle.
Hey, get in the car.
I definitely also have that issue. The other day, I had literally from Indy I bought 20 cigars for Indy, but then I flew to Florida afterwards for like 5 days, and between Indy and Florida, I smoked all of them.
Well, I also feel like Florida was just like a last minute decision too.
Yeah, that was just like I was just like
spur of the moment. Yeah,
and then we went. So I did that. We got back from Florida, and my girlfriend's dad was like, "Hey, do you want to smoke a cigar?" And I was like, yeah, sure. And he goes, really? Because he was there smoking them with me. So he's like, seriously, you want one? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, cool. So he goes and grabs them. And my girlfriend was like, he doesn't say no. He's never going to say no. Like,
especially like a girlfriend's dad. Like
Yeah,
I
you
like
can't
certain
say
people,
no to that.
I just wouldn't in general. But also, I'm like, oh, that's a fun time. Like that's good. Just like that's good bonding.
Yeah.
And I'd rather do that than not do that. Yeah, I was that way with cigarettes too. Like never really smoked cigarettes, but like if I was a social where if somebody was like, hey, you want to go have a cigarette? I was always like, yes, that sounds like fun. You know what I mean? I was like, little of me like, well, how do you do this now? You have to cut it? They're like, no, that's cigars, you idiot. But and then you know the ones where you'd have to like crack them, like little pop ones.
Yeah.
I get really, I was like, that's cool. And then I remember on my like 19th birthday, I like bought a pack of cigarettes. I don't think I ever finished the pack. Like it was not something I could do by myself. It was always like if I've had some drinks and hanging out with friends and someone's going to have a cigarette, or if like a really cute girl I was into was like gonna go have a cigarette, instantly I was a smoker. Like, the things you'll just take on to be like around people like for that. Oh my God. Yeah, but I don't think I've had a cigarette in a while, but like when I do, oh, it's so nice.
You're just a social butterfly.
For most parties I would go to, like ever, I would always buy a pack of cigarettes because someone is always like, hey, do you have a cigarette?
Yeah, or light or whatever. Yeah, I know. That's actually smart. Like, that's very smart.
And I'd be like, yeah, I have them. And they're like, do you smoke? I'm like, like,
yeah, no, just a fan of the brand.
I collect them.
Yeah, so I like the little camel on the pack.
And I would make it a point to like get rid of all of my cigarettes by the end of the night. Like, I would just be like, and I would have them with people. And stuff, but I'm like, who else wants one? And like, like no one else does it. Everyone's always like, oh, I got a cigarette. So.
Yeah, it was like working in like the nightlife thing for a little while too, and doing bartending was like everybody had something they did. So it was like when it was cigarettes, it was like the tamest thing. So it was like nice to like go out back and have a cigarette and like go back in and like you kind of had each other's back because you had that moment. There's like a lot of those little nuances that I kind of liked about that. Yeah, I was like, that's cool. But I don't think I've ever bought more than one pack myself. I never like behind the counter at a Walgreens was like, I'll take, what is that? Like, I wouldn't even know what to get. Just picking up like, what's on sale? Is that a thing?
I still never smoked a cigarette.
Never, ever?
Never. Maybe one day.
It's probably a good thing.
Yeah,
I think you're
better off not doing it.
Yeah. It's not something, and we've also proven that it's like the macho coolness thing. It's not 1968 anymore, where it's like, what do you mean you haven't had a cigarette?
Yeah.
Like, no, that's the right thing to do.
That's true. Yeah. And if I was like a Peaky Blinder, I'd smoke a couple.
Yeah. And marijuana is so accessible now; it's ridiculous. It's easier to buy pot now than it is cigarettes. I feel like there's more dispensaries per.
It still feels like it's more expensive to buy cigarettes than it is to buy weed.
Yeah.
Because like weed, you're like, this is a round, like it's taxed now. But
right. Like what's a carton of cigarettes and what's like a quarter?
A carton of cigarettes in Illinois is probably close to 100.
See, that's insane to me. What's in a carton? 10 packs? 12 packs? 8?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Sound like such a loser. How about 8?
I don't know how many packs come in it. All I know is that there's 18 cigarettes in a pack.
Okay.
That's the only thing I know.
I'm learning.
I have a couple more food thoughts.
Let's do it.
Are you good on time?
Yeah, I'm good. Whatever you guys need. Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm not going to say no.
I don't like the way you said that. On his behalf, I'm
whatever you want.
Pizza.
Apples. Oh, I thought we were playing it. Like favorite pizza?
I'm
just
a big
like
pizza guy.
Okay.
So
What's your favorite style of pizza?
Tavern.
Jack's Frozen.
Okay, so you like just traditional Chicago tavern style. That's like the nostalgia with that of people here is so crazy to me because that's not a good answer. No, like Chicago tavern style pizza to me, there's only like 3 places that do it well. It's
now.
Vito Nex, obviously, is fantastic. I just had it from Nancy's. You've ever had Nancy's thin crust? I was blown away by that. That was very good. And then I really like Aurelio's.
Okay.
I love Aurelio's.
But I also have to say, I'm not like from here, so I haven't had them all. Like I've only had the ones I've had where I'm like, oh, those are good. So many of them, like D'Agostino's, a place like places that are just like a bar that serves pizza where people are like, but it's so good. Like to me, that's just the nostalgia factor baked into it. Cause like thin crust pizza, like New York style thin crust is like so much better to me than tavern style.
Okay.
Because of like the eating experience. Like, I don't know. I hate the square cut thing. Like you're picking up like pieces with no crust and you're just like your hands. I just don't get it. Like it doesn't make any sense to me.
I love it. And it's my number one because I can eat an entire one and not feel bad because the slices are so small.
Yeah.
So it's a mind trick for myself.
It is a mind trick. I like that part of it.
I can eat an entire pizza and be like, that was nothing,
Right.
I do like, so I like Chicago tavern style, but I prefer the triangle cut. So I'm always torn.
Kiss ass.
No, because I
You
don't
can't
like,
ask him.
I don't like New York style as much as I like Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Just because I'm more of a sauce. I like more sauce.
For sure. That makes sense then.
So it's
That
like
makes
the
sense.
sauce. It's like if the only other thing is the cut, like
Yeah.
I'm like, I can just get the Chicago style cut
Right.
into triangles.
I grew up in Detroit, so Detroit style pizza was like, it's getting bigger now nationally, but like that's what I ate growing up. Like my local pizza place served the like square sauce on top. Or like, so when I went out of Michigan, people were like, what do you do to pizza? Why? You know what I mean? Like, and they're like, it's like Chicago style. I'm like, no, it's not like, it's not deep dish. So I loved that. But like when I went to New York and, you know, traveled a bunch, I was like, the Jersey kind of New York style pizza to me was like, I love the slice aspect. I wish that was more of a thing in Chicago.
I agree.
Because there's so many times where pizza's kind of expensive here, even tavern style sometimes is like 26, 27 bucks for like your own kind of pizza. If I was getting it with having some beers at home or something, where like, I like that you could go to a place, get a big ass slice for $5. Like sometimes I want that. I don't want the box in my apartment. I don't want to be tempted the next day. I'm like, if I'm eating like crap tonight, I don't want to wake up tomorrow and be like, this was supposed to be just a tonight thing. Then I feel bad about not eating leftovers. So that's also a mine thing where I wish Chicago had more of the slice mentality.
Do you reheat your pizza?
I do the air fryer thing.
Oh,
I'm one of those suckers that loves
Air
his
fryer is great, but I still love cold pizza.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, cold pizza's
absolutely.
great.
Absolutely.
Like Aurelio's cold pizza.
It was fantastic.
Because they do that thing with the crust, and I don't know how they do it.
I don't know how they do it, but it's great. And cold pizza is awesome. People that don't like that really hate that. If you notice that, Corey, my buddy from the show, is so anti-cold pizza. Like stuff that is supposed to be hot that's now cold, like freaks him out.
Really?
And I was like, oh, there are people like that like do not like cold food that was hot once.
It's
where I don't mind it. There's something about it. It's being hungover, watching a movie on a Sunday, and eating like cold pizza is like really nice.
I agree. Side Street Saloon is a cool.
Oh, I've never been to Side Street Saloon.
Very underrated neighborhood bar, tavern style pizza.
Where's that?
Literally like 3 blocks down.
Yeah.
Side Street Saloon. I'm literally marking it now so I don't forget.
And
it's
then,
not far.
have you had Pat's Pizza?
That's on our short list now to get for the number 6 with cheese.
Pat's is fine. I think Side Street's better.
Okay. Because I've heard Pat's is fantastic.
I like Pat's because it's close. It's literally.
Yeah,
oh my God, this is literally
right
a George and
It's
Green.
actually like I've been on my way to lose and given up because I passed Pat's and I was like, never mind, I'm just gonna put it in my order
okay.
here.
Pat's, have you had a Pizza Serio?
I don't think
that one's
so.
New York.
Pizza Serio is New York style, and they have a sweet heat pizza.
Okay. No, I don't think I've had
it's
that.
like pepperoni, banana peppers with honey glaze on it.
Oh, wow.
It's fucking incredible.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. No, I don't think I've had that.
Tyler, what's that other pizza place that you and Claire got? Yes.
Love Peace.
That place
Yeah,
is good as
Love
fuck.
Peace. Did the hot dog pizza there, which hot
dog
hot
pizza.
dog. Yeah, so he partnered with them and also Bro Bagel next door, and he has a hot dog like bagel sandwich there, and then a hot dog pizza at Peace, and it's like that atomic sausage. If you like spicier,
Yeah,
it's not too bad, but that was really good. We did that for number 6 with cheese and loved it. That's like New Haven style, right? Technically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
are we still talking about pizza? Because
I mean, I can talk about pizza all day.
Yeah, I know you could. So that's why I was like,
What's your favorite frozen pizza?
The Screamin' Sicilian Holy Pepperoni from Milwaukee. You can get it here, obviously, but Screamin' Sicilian Holy Pepperoni. It's like, you know how they rank in price? I don't know if you even know this. In the frozen food aisle, traditionally it goes least expensive to most expensive, like down the aisle.
I didn't know that.
Screamin' Sicilian is like on the more expensive side, but when you make it the right way, like you would think it's not frozen. That's why I like it. And they're owned by Palermo's, so big company, but they're in Milwaukee. And Corey and I actually got to go to the where they make the pizzas, like on the assembly line, and watch that. That was trippy to watch that. All those pizzas being made for all over the country. But the Holy Pepperoni, that's what I always tell people to get. That's the best.
Holy Pepperoni.
Circle pizza.
See, he's a Jack's Pizza guy.
The 4 for $10. Growing up, we get 4 of them. My mom still will like zhuzh up a Jack's Pizza when I come home. She's like puts it out like it's like past pizza.
I have 5 in the freezer right now.
Yeah, there's something so beautiful about the like cheap, just frozen circle pizza that those stack really well because they're so thin. Somebody actually donated in my vlog to show what I do to a frozen pizza to like zhuzh it up.
Ooh,
like if you get a $3 pizza, okay, what do you do? What do you put on yours?
To be honest with you, it depends on what's in the fridge.
So let's say you just had like a plain cheese or just a cheese and pepperoni, like $3 jacks, like the cheapest it is.
Okay.
And you want to like make it better. Like, do you add more cheese? Do you add more toppings?
Yeah. So if I have any kind of shredded cheese in the fridge, it goes on top. I'm a big pepper jack guy.
Yep.
So I like throwing pepper jack on pizza. So I'll shred that. I'll add some spices to it. Like I'll add some oregano, pepper, maybe a little cayenne if I want some heat. But then when it comes out, I always put Parmesan on it.
Yeah. We
have like 35,000 hot sauce bottles downstairs that I'll mix.
Yeah.
But like, and then meat, like if I have ground turkey in the fridge, I'll throw some ground turkey on there. Same with ground beef.
Right.
I have chicken, like
You go all out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I am too.
I do it all.
Yeah, if I'm home and I'm like,
no one's watching.
Yeah, I'm just like, I just go for it. I'm like, I should have ordered probably something, but this is a project now.
See, I'm a home run in guy.
Yeah, that's my fiance's favorite.
But
she loves home run in.
It's a nostalgia thing.
The butter crust too, right? There's something about it.
Yeah, it's like the same thing. Like why I'm such a big fan of Lou Malnati's. Like I grew up eating both of those, you know. So like that's like mainly the nostalgia factor,
right?
And then, but I don't really zhuzh it up at all.
Yeah. Home run in you don't really need to because it's like it's done a certain way where the Jack's ones are like kind of meant to be.
Yeah.
You either woof that whole thing down and over your sink, or you go for it. Yeah. We've all eaten some slices over the sink for sure. We're not about
without doubt. You have a pizza stone, I'm guessing.
I did have one for a while and kind of didn't see that much of a difference with it.
Really?
So I started like baking pizzas regular in the oven and then finishing them in the air fryer.
Ooh.
Oh my!
If
How
I
big
had
is
the
your
time.
air fryer?
What'd you say?
Ours wouldn't. How big is your air fryer?
cut. Yeah, no, I guess I should give you all the directions.
Pizza?
I will bake it, and then when it's like basically done, I'll cut the pizza like into fourths, and then I'll throw 2 pieces in, and like it'll be air frying, and then I'll take those out and eat those, and then put the other. So it'll be like it's like an assembly line of fatness of what I'm doing. Yeah.
Okay. I'll use the pizza stone. I'll like get that pizza stone to like 250, and then I'll put the pizza on.
Yeah.
And then when the pizza's about done, I broil it for like 2
nice.
minutes. And then because the top gets like nice and crispy too
Yep,
with the
that's
cheese.
a good idea.
So that's what I do because I didn't even think to like cut it up before I put it in.
It's a lot. Like it's a lot of work to do that. It'd be better just to broil it. Trust me, that's a better idea.
Because like I mean, so with the pizza stone, I noticed the bottom gets crispier, but the top, I mean, still I like to do the broiler thing as well.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Just finish.
I don't know why I
the
don't do
cheese.
that. That's gonna be the next time I do it.
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't know what the fuck broil meant, so like I had one in there. I was like, let's see
what's
happens.
this setting do?
And then the cheese just started like popping and
Oozing,
turning brown.
yeah.
I was like, yes, it's working.
That's a good idea.
Whatever this is. All right, best pizza in the city is?
I think my favorite, if I had to pick one, if you guys, man,
Well, I am curious because you know about Detroit style, what you think of Pequods too.
I like Pequods a lot. It's just such its own thing to me.
Okay,
it's so massive and heavy and like, but they put so much on it. Like I do love it. I ran the Chicago Marathon like years ago, and one of my best friends, her family took us all out for like post race, and we literally all ate our own large.
Yeah.
Like so, it was like I have this fun nostalgia for that moment, and I loved it. Have you ever had coal fire?
No.
I really like wood fired Neapolitan style. They do it really well. There's one in Lakeview and there's one in Westtown. The original I think is in Westtown, kind of not too far from United Center. I love that. But then Fat Chris's is Detroit style, but they also have regular. I think it's one of the most underrated pizza places in the entire city. Like nobody talks about it, and they're very Detroit themed, but I love it. Every time I get it, it's not too heavy for Detroit style. They got this weird hybrid thing they do. So I tell people if they're ever getting delivery and they're up here somewhere to get Fat Chris's and try it. I really dig it.
I think it blows, no offense to Jets, but for like Detroit style.
Yeah, because it's more real Detroit style pizza, where Jets is kind of not, because they don't put the sauce on top. Jets is kind of its own thing.
And it definitely it is like my delivery go-to if I want something.
That's good that you know about. I feel like nobody knows about that place but me and Corey. I love that. And then have you ever had 5 Squared Pizza where they deliver it only on Fridays and Saturdays?
No.
It's like you DM them on Instagram and you look at their menu and what you want. You pay through Venmo. And on Friday between like 4 and 7, either Friday or Saturday, the owner literally brings it to your house. Will text you, hey, I'm outside. And it's Detroit style pizza. And they have like Strombolis now, and like they made house-made ranch. They have their own desserts. So if you ever want to try something fun for Friday, Saturday, 5 Squared Pizza, you get 4 slices and you can pick what each one is. So I'm a big I like to try a bunch of different stuff. So the 5 squared thing is they're 5 by 5 inches. So you get 4 different slices for $20. So I was like, that's a fun little hack that nobody knows about too.
That's super cool.
Yeah, and the fact that the owner just brings it to you off of Venmo, it's great. It's awesome. And they're always on all the lists of like best pizza that nobody knows about and stuff like that. But
5 squared pizza.
5 squared pizza. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so if you had to pick a place in Chicagoland area, like you only can eat that for the like next year.
Are we talking pizza still?
No, this is
any restaurant.
Any restaurant.
Hold on, what pizza place would you bring to your friends? Like if you have someone coming out of town, where do you take them for pizza?
And
this would be
we like never go to pizza places. That's what's so funny. I never really bring people like if they come into town, we don't ever go out. So I used to always tell people La Briola downtown, which I think's the best. Yeah, which I think's like one of the best. They have everything now. They have artisan style, thin crust, skinny deep, which is like a deep dish, but like take an inch off of it for the people that are scared of the whole thing, and the big one. And they're like downtown, so it's like you can get the experience of the Mag Mile, but you're in this like little like Italian place that like is good with tourists, but also so I always tell people that's like a fun place to go if they want the full experience of like downtown Chicago.
Okay,
you know, but yeah, I mean Pequod's would probably be if I was going to an actual sit down restaurant and somebody's like, I want deep dish pizza from Chicago, I'd probably go to Pequod's.
Okay,
But favorite restaurant, like I can only eat at one place for the rest of like living here.
Yeah,
that's such a good question.
Just for a year.
For a year,
but
okay.
Still pretty much.
Because it's such a good question because you need to think about the vastness of the menu. It can't just do one thing. It's got to do everything well, and it can't be too expensive because you can't just do a place that you'd always be like just get shelling out every single time. Okay, have you ever been to Nona's in the West Loop?
No, not
they're owned by Fermentos. It's right at the corner of like Randolph and like Green maybe or something like that, or a couple over. It's like a small run Italian place, but they have like meatball sandwiches, chicken parm, slices, both New York and Detroit style slices, like eggplant parm, and then like cheaper sandwiches to go. Nona's, I think, is my favorite restaurant in the city. And I think I could probably get away with like, if I could only go to one place there, and they deliver on all the apps really quick. So I go to Nona's. I love telling people about that place. Nona's is so good. And Corey and I just reviewed it, the pizza for number 6 with cheese, because I'd always gotten sandwiches and the pizza was flawless, like the Detroit style. So yeah, I go Nona's. And I think people should all try that.
Speaking of sandwiches, have you tried Chiba Hut?
Yes. Underwhelmed.
Oh, we're underwhelmed.
Which is, I know the...
Were you high?
No.
Their main
we did it for the show, and I was like, I had a buddy that was like, I love Chiba Hut. Like, I love like the toasted sandwiches concept. Like, I was just kind of like, there was not enough that stood out to me about it that made it like its own thing. You know what I mean? Like, it was like a step up from Quiznos to me. But it could have just been the one I got, and the day, that's what happens sometimes.
Do you remember which sandwich you got?
So the guy was, I always say like, what's the most popular thing that I should get? And it was like the Cali Mist or Cali something.
I haven't had that one.
So I think it's just like the traditional like turkey, bacon, avocado, like all that stuff. And I think Corey got the meatball sub, and we were both just kind of, it's good.
Did you go to the one on Sheffield, like right by Wrigley?
Yes, we went to that one.
So have you been to right kind of across the street from that place? So there's that Al's Beef, and then you keep going down Sheffield. It's called Boulevard and Lincoln.
No, I've never been there.
It's Cowboy. What kind of like food place is it though? Greek?
Venezuelan.
Venezuelan.
Oh, I love Venezuelan food.
Venezuelan. You go there and you order the Cowboy. It's New York strip steak, guacamole, some kind of like tomato and onion, and it's in a arepa. I think.
Like
arepa. Yeah.
Arepa.
Yep.
Best sandwich I've had in the city.
Damn, I love arepa. Okay, so that's great because I did not know that place was good or really like I haven't heard people talk about it.
You just drive by it all the time. You're like, what the fuck is that place? And then there's also like a Sci-Pi pizzeria sign, but it's not a pizzeria. I found that out. And that's how I actually fell into the Cowboy, because I was like, all right, like, what do you guys have?
Right.
Arepas. And I was like, okay, what's the best one? He's like, the Cowboy. And I was like,
damn, okay, that's going on like the short list too for number 6 with cheese.
And then if you order fries, it's like this giant.
The fries are,
and you can get it to go and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've actually never eaten.
They'll write your name on the bag with a smiley face.
Yeah, they do that.
That's the way to do it. I also always feel really nice when they give you the have a nice day plastic bag, like Chinese restaurants that do that.
Yeah.
Something about it that's just so like universal throughout the country that I love. Like somebody's making those and selling them to every single restaurant in the world. It's so great.
Have you had any other pambazos other than the one
at Habanero?
Yeah.
No. Still the only one.
Okay.
And I can't wait to have more of those. Because I do the daily thing now with all those like people pick what I eat. I can't remember the last time I've like gone to a place out of my own volition and been like, oh, I'm going to get another thing I like. Like somebody will be like, there's other place like Taclotan. It's at like Fullerton and Way West. 2 different people donated for that. And there's like one person wants me to get like the moles, like enchilada dinner. The other person wants me to get the quesabirria with like the birria ramen. So I like get to try these crazy things. And I'm like, I just want to go around and eat pambazo sandwiches because did not know that was a thing. I told so many people like, go get that. If you see that on the menu, order that. Yeah. It's wild. Like chili soaked bread. That's like its own thing.
Yeah.
Dude, like central food from Latin America is so much better than what we've got going on, dude. I think that's right now my cuisine. If I could only pick one cuisine, it'd be like Latin American food. Same. Like just anything from Central America, whatever. Oh my God, it's so good.
Well, the first week that we lived here, like we were unpacking, we were doing stuff. Right. So I would take little breaks and I would just walk through the alley and I would get a burrito or a taco or something.
Right. You were living at that place.
I was living.
They knew him by name the second day.
Yeah. They were like I took my girlfriend there for the first time. We both walked in because usually I'll just go pick it up. And she, like we were both walking out and they go, see you tomorrow. And I was like,
that's great.
Probably.
That's great.
I was like, okay.
That's good marketing on them too, to be like, if we tell him to come back, then we want him.
He will. He will.
He will arrive. Yeah.
And we had the whole thing where I don't like to turn down people. Yeah. So
right. We're very
I'm like, all right, I guess I'm coming back tomorrow.
I got to. I don't want to let him down.
But I haven't had the pambazo yet. And I saw that video and I was like, I need to get that. And I have a friend who's Mexican and he goes, you've never had one?
I know.
And I was like, no. And he was like, his mom used to make them. So he's got like a whole nostalgia thing behind it. And he's like, let's go to that place because he watched it with me.
Yeah.
And I need to go get that. So
it was incredible. I feel like there's some like food that like my friends from Mexico and stuff like that. I go, you guys have withheld food from white people for a good reason because they're like, yeah, you guys are so obsessed with the goddamn tacos and burritos. That's all you talk about. He's like, we got a whole bunch of other stuff. And then I was like, all right, what's good? You know what I mean? Like, and literally like all my friends who are of any descent outside of like from the southern part of the United States, they're like, I don't ever order a taco, a burrito, a quesadilla. He's like, no, here's what you get. And pambazos were always on there. And I was like, I swear to God, I've never even heard anybody talk about it.
Oh my
God. So is there a certain way that you ordered it or?
No, I think it was just like, they always tell me to get like extra hot sauce or whatever, because they know I like that. But no, it was just like it was a steak sandwich, right? So however it was on the menu, I think is how I ordered it.
Oh, okay.
And they like messaged me on Instagram. They're like, we saw that video. Like, we remember you coming in. That's so cool. And I was like, that's really neat. Yeah. When the restaurants reach out and they're like, thank you, because this is a tough grind out here doing this.
Yeah, that is cool.
So speaking of hot sauce, what do you have like top 5 hot sauces?
Yeah, so I've like been making a video every year of like top 5, and they always do so well. Like, people love that. Like, I always think like, oh, I'm just some other guy that likes hot sauce. Like, everybody talks about it. My favorite hot sauce right now is Double Take hot sauce. It's a Scotch bonnet mustard. You guys like mustard? This is like a half hot sauce, half mustard. It's from Minneapolis, but you can order online. Double Take. That's my favorite. And then Sauce Bay. He's from Jersey. Awesome guy. He's got a hotter and a regular. It's like a yellow sauce with like turmeric and stuff in it, but it's really good on like breakfast foods. I love that. It's one of my favorites. Lucky Dog hot sauce, which is out in like Oakland area in California. He makes a ton of stuff. His stuff's been on Hot Ones a bunch of times. Lucky Dog hot sauce, literally any of his stuff, but he's got one called Chrome that's really good. So that's my favorite of his. And then Hoff, which is in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Small batch guy, started really small with his wife. Now he's like the biggest hot sauce distributor like in Tennessee.
Beard? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
I actually just got a bottle of that. My buddy lives in Pennsylvania. He bought it for my birthday. He was like,
do you know which one you got? Was like the regular?
It was like the original, the black label.
I like the Smoke and Ghost because I like I need like a little more heat, because a lot of those sauces now like do nothing to me because of doing this for so many years that I'm like just literally numb. So I love that. And then of course our hot sauce, Hot or Sixer sauce. For number 6 with cheese.
I haven't had that yet.
I know. I normally also bring that for people that whoever have like seen the show. We literally have purchased the recipe from the chef that made it, and we're sending it all to our shipping facility, so we'll own it all. So like we'll be able to send bottles to people like just off the computer and everything. So
perfect.
we're out of it right now. That's how much we use it for the show.
Yeah.
But I like no bullshit. We made a sauce that was what we wanted that didn't exist. Where it's got like it's good for fast food. It's hot and got a little sweetness with honey. Ooh. It's kind of got like a mustardy ketchupiness to it. So it's great for fries, but also on burgers. So like people always make something that because they can't find the thing that they want. Right? It's like a lot of companies start. We did that with our sauce, and I straight up used the hotter version of it every day. That's why I don't have any more. They use it for every meal. Corey's like, stop using all the sauce. Well, you got to pay for that. I'm like, sorry.
So I also got a different one, and you have a similar one, that honey habanero one in the fridge on this Gindo's.
Yeah, Gindo's is really popular right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I got a different one. There was my buddy from Pennsylvania sent the Hoff and then this one. I can't remember the name of it. But it was like a honey hot sauce, and that one was really good on like pizza. Yeah,
honey. If you like the sweet on like slices, it's great. That's like what people get me for birthday. Like the amount of people that come to my apartment, they're like, I was in this random town in Florida and I got you this hot sauce. Like the amount of hot sauce that I have and have had to give away because I live in like a 700 square foot apartment in Chicago. Yeah. I was like, I can't be that guy that's like opens a door and is like, look at all this cellar where
there's candles lit.
Yeah, I'm like getting rid of clothes to like keep all my hot sauces. Like that's not okay. It's like,
you're like, this drawer used to hold underwear.
Yeah,
but
it's not like people in New York will use their ovens for like storage for like clothes and pillows and stuff. Yeah. Like I was like, I don't want to get to that level of psychopath.
We're getting there.
Yeah. And then have you had Shaquanda's hot sauce?
Yeah, love that.
That is so good.
Yeah.
Again, that's another thing. Girlfriend's family was like, hey, have you had this? And I put it on pizza, and it's just like a better Tabasco.
It's really good. Yeah, I think it was on Hot Ones, and Corey and I used to do like the Hot Ones lineups sauces like for videos.
And expensive.
Yeah, and so we got I think a lineup of those, and that was in it, and that was one of the standouts. I remember that being really good.
Their variety pack on Amazon, the Shaquanda's. The spicier smoke one, I think, is my favorite.
Ooh,
it has more heat and it's got a little smoky finish.
I think I just had whatever like the traditional mild one was.
It literally has. It's just like a white label, and then she's got a beard.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'm so in for like trying their whole lineup because I think they're like Brooklyn maybe. They're in New York. I always like that's why I know where they're at. I'm always very like fascinated by how the company runs as a whole. Like anybody can just make a hot sauce, but it's like craft beer where you should go to the store and you're like, oh, there's 5 million. I'm gonna shop based off label. I love how like I think hot sauce companies like you got to really grind, and I'm so fascinated by like the business side of it,
the backstory.
Yeah, and like if
produced.
it's like why they made a sauce, like why they do certain varieties. Is it a chef that's doing it, or is it just like a company that is a shell of a they don't know anything? Like where do the peppers come from? I think it's really cool. I think the whole like culture behind it's really neat.
That's a good point.
Have you had Dave's Insanity?
Yeah.
That one is not fun.
No, it's not. I had that, and that to me like it sucks. But last weekend when I was in Wisconsin with my buddies, we did that Last Dab Apollo, like the new Last Dab, and I've done fine with the Last Dabs before, but it comes in like the frozen chicken pack where you can put your own on it, and he put I'm sure way too much on. I felt like I drank battery acid.
Really?
Like you ever had a burn so bad from like hot sauce that it doesn't taste like food anymore? It's just like chemical tasting.
Yeah.
It like your mouth starts getting that weird numb, like you put like the vapor rub on your mouth or something.
Yeah.
I had to like run my mouth under the sink because it felt like I like put my mouth on a tailpipe and was like, gun it. Like literally, so that I hated. But Dave's Insanity like kind of did that to me originally, where I was like, this isn't good.
Yeah.
I hate that feeling.
I had put like a dab like just like I was using it like very like I had it before, so I knew what to do, and I was like very little, and my girlfriend was like, oh, I'll try that. And I was like, I don't know. And she goes, no, I like hot sauce. And I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, fuck you. That actually ruined my night.
Oh, for sure. It can derail.
Like,
yeah.
She's like,
I'm just glad that it's not one of those ones like all the companies that lean into the whole like butthole blaster, like outhouse ruiner. And you're like, dude, okay, first of all, that humor's so lame. Yeah.
Steve-O made a hot sauce.
Like, he did. Yeah.
And it's literally
something in the butt or butthole blaster. But that for his brand, it makes sense. When it's just like some guy in Montana that's like, I'm going to make one called like Dynamite in the Asshole. It's like, just dude, kill yourself. It's also like it's they that's really overreaction. A lot of times we realize too, like from learning it, a lot of people just literally all they do is dump the lowest grade habanero powder into these recipes. So it's so easy to make it that hot. That's why they don't taste good, because they're not also combating it with other flavors. They're just going, oh, we'll do the thing that everybody does, cayenne vinegar, and then just load of just lava. And then you're like, oh yeah, that's why it just hurts and there's no taste, because
like it hurts here,
that much habanero doesn't taste good. Obviously,
No.
A little bit of habanero is a nice taste. After that, it's too hot.
I like a good balance of flavor and heat.
Of course, you need flavor first, dude.
Yeah.
Like if the heat comes afterwards where you can taste it first, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but no, none of this, like you immediately get it, then you stand up. You ever had food so hot you're like, you have to move instantly? That's not
You
fun.
gotta kind of do like a little shakeout.
Yeah, you gotta literally do jumping jacks to get over it. No, not my
just
thing.
air your mouth out.
Yeah, you're always like sucking air in. That's my move. I always suck air in like such a psychopath.
Yep.
Sound like I'm giving like a baby.
Doesn't help
labor.
at all whatsoever.
No,
it, like,
temporarily.
it
Makes it worse after you're done doing that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, not for me.
So, what do you think? Eating with spicy food, what is your go-to drink to pair with it?
I've still found nothing actually works, but my thing was always we love doing alcohol with it because you numb yourself that way of like a really strong beer where you can like the longer sip and it's high alcohol, so you start to feel buzzed, so it kind of starts to go away. It's like when you're high, you're numb to like stuff a little bit. So I like a really high alcohol percentage drink, whether it's like a double IPA or like literally like a vodka or tequila, something like really light and easy to drink. That I would take over milk or water or any of that stuff. I think like alcohol, they say alcohol kind of kills the pain, like something about the makeup of it. I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard.
I heard like beer does the most.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were one of the people that will claim that like drinking a soda will help. But
I've never found anything to be like, oh, this works. Like, people are like, if you ever got a plug deer, I know how to get it out. And then you're like, you try, it didn't work. And like, I think that's the same thing. Everyone's different and they think they have a thing that works. Mine has just been like, the faster you can get a buzz, you'll forget about it.
But I also feel like it's kind of like, why are you looking for something to save you when you know damn well what you're about to put in your mouth?
I know. It's
like,
called Dave's Insanity Triple X. Like, it's gonna hurt.
It's called Butthole Blaster 25,000.
I think the fact though that water definitely does make it worse is true. Like, I think it's counterintuitive to think like chugging water helps. I think it just like further spreads it out.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
They're
true.
like, now your throat burns.
Yeah, I don't know. You just got to keep drinking. I don't know. Like, like a double, like what did I really like was, double Two Hearted, because I'm from Michigan. Like Two Hearted is like the craft beer. They made a double version of that that's like 10%. That was my jam. Like that for a hot sauce video would be great. I'll do that.
I'll have to try it.
I think they only make it like 1 month a year.
I think I've only had the Two Hearted like once.
Regular. Yeah. Oh yeah. I love that beer though. Michigan boy.
I have one more question for you, and then we can get you out of here.
For sure.
Thank you for so much.
Dude, I love it.
For coming here. When it comes to like overall content producing, and because you're doing food stuff, you're doing booze stuff, you're doing a lot. Like, what's the end game? Like, what's the goal that you want?
Yeah, like what's all this for? What are we working towards? That kind of thing. Yeah, I know we talked a lot about food today, and that's awesome. But like this question is so much like what I'm always thinking about. Like, I love the food stuff, but the reason that like Number 6 with Cheese works so well is because it gets in the eyes of agencies that might be spending money. People love it because they know the brands we're like talking about, so they can interact. Corey and I signed a TV deal in year 1 of the show to a holding deal to like try to develop like a comedy food show for us, like on these networks. The goal was always to basically keep having fun doing it, never make it feel like work, have a blast, get better at editing, work with more people, work with comedians, do as much work as we can in the commercial space. We've done Checkers and Rallies commercials. We've been flown all over the place for rallies, for Arby's to do stuff. So it was always like I know it's corny, but it's always like keep moving up to the next thing. Like do a commercial, that's awesome. We made a hot sauce, awesome. We made another hot sauce. We bought the rights to that hot sauce. We want to start doing a content. We're starting a company where creators in Chicago can come almost like a panel style, all meet each other, talk. It's kind of like what Casey Neistat was trying to do in New York City with 368, where it was like these creators are all coming to a space to work together and meet each other. We kind of want to start that in Chicago. So it's like, just keep doing things where you're around more people. The networking is great. The content will always kind of speak for itself. And I think good things will come from that. And so for my personal stuff, like food content to me is such an escape from how shitty the world is. Like I get really bogged down by the news and stuff like that. Like my fiance still works for the Tribune. So I'm hearing the like the worst things you could hear from news all the time. So when I started my own vlog thing, it was like, I need more just, there's no controversy in food. People love it. It's an escape. I can be a goofball on camera. Companies will reach out. People will donate because they love the show. So it's really just like my goal of this whole thing was make money doing what you love. Don't have to answer to anybody else and just make an income laughing and being an idiot every day. I was like, if I can get there and keep doing that, like good things will come. So that's what I'm still doing now. Like 6 years into the show and doing my thing and starting these companies is just literally not having to answer anybody and to get to call the shots and just pay my taxes, pay my bills and have fun, you know? So I'm hoping these other opportunities come. It's always great, but I'm not trying to be like the next big, like this guy, you know what I mean? I'm trying to like, something fun will come from all this stuff and just grinding, just keep doing it and like not stop.
I feel like that's the new American dream though.
I think it is. I think it's changed because you can create a business right now. You can open a browser or on a phone and start a thing and it could be a big deal and people will pay you for it. You know, I can't believe people Venmo me money to eat stuff. Like it's ridiculous,
right?
But it's like people find a connection with somebody and you can watch a show on Netflix for 10 episodes and then it's gone for a year. Where if you connect with somebody online, it's every day. It's like the new it's like the new TV show. Like YouTube and TikTok is the new web series, you know, like, so I just have always attached to that realm really well. And I've met a lot of really cool people. Like I met you guys through doing what I do. Like it's really neat to me. It creates a lot of opportunities for stuff in the future. And I just love what I do. So
what do you think, like building like your entire platform and company, like what do you think has been the best overall thing that you've done? Like, is it like just consistently putting content out there?
That's my thing that when I've done talks and stuff, I always tell people that I think consistency nowadays is the name of the game. Like you can put out a big thing, but how many movies have you seen where they put $300 million into it and then you see it and then you don't think about it ever again. And like, that's it. Like, I think they've basically proven to with the almighty algorithm that people connect more with consistent, decent content than they do with you putting your life's work into one thing and then never hearing from you for 2 years. Like it's kind of sucks because it's changed the way people create. But the thing that I've connected with most, like you said, is just the consistency. I think find something that you can sustain for a long period of time that's not going to bog you down. And you can find ways to be creative every single day in the thing you're doing and you're going to be fine. Because people connect with opening their phones and going, oh, let me click on that YouTube channel and see, oh, here's 7 new videos in the last 7 days. And then they binge them. Like that's just how we consume content. So that's what I tell people. I think the best thing we've done is never stopping like the grind and doing it. So I think if you take a break, people just move on to something else and it's hard to bring them back. We've had some of the same fans now since like 2016 that have like watched every video, comment on everything, have been a Patreon for 6 years. Like, it's because we keep doing it. And we have a live show tonight, a Patreon Zoom that if you're a $10, monthly donor, you get to talk to us for an hour on Zoom. We just kick it with these people from all over the world. Like that's so cool. Yeah. So it's the consistency truly. I think without it, we wouldn't have been as motivated to like keep going. We have we'll put one foot in front of the other every day. And we have to schedule videos every day,
Well, it speaks to those days too, where like you're tired or you're just not feeling it.
Right.
I don't know if this video is going to do well, but I'm going to put it out anyways. Yeah. Because it's better than putting out nothing.
Yeah, I think so. Like there's definitely times when if you have burnout, like you need to like take a step back. But like I'm going to Montana next week for 2 weeks and Corey and I filmed like basically 2.5, 3 weeks of stuff in a week or two. So now we have like content coming out, but I have a break now to be able to just like go hang out, fly my drone, just hike. And that's nice. So like, it's nice to have those press pause moments, but we also like are keeping the content calendar full. So our fans never know that we left, which I think is kind of fun.
That's kind of what we do for like around the holidays and stuff. So that we can, go back because he goes, different places.
Right. I think if you have the ability to do that, it's really nice because your fans go like, oh, they didn't even leave us hanging. Like they give us all this content.
Right.
So yeah. It's so much work. I think people always like talk about it like being an influencer or a content creator is like the most fun job in the world. But you guys know it's so much work that people don't see. Like you just see this little 10-minute video or you see a 48-minute podcast and you're like, oh, that's cool. They just sat around and talked. It's like, no, you have a producer, you're editing, you have all this stuff. You built this beautiful set. Like there's so much that goes into it. So it's nice when you're with other content creators. You can be like, dude, I appreciate what you guys are doing so much because I know that grind and every little detail is thought of. Yeah, I just think all this stuff, like being able to do this is so cool. Like you guys are just killing it with all this stuff. Like,
well,
this
is
so
the
neat.
First studio. Like
You are the
first guest in the new studio.
First guest in the new studio.
I love that.
First
Do I get to sign a wall?
draft of the new studio. You should start doing.
You should.
And then
Pick a wall.
we the only thing is at the last place we probably redid the studio like 14 times.
Yeah,
it felt like
because you're just trying to make it like just right, and you care about that stuff. That's how you know things are going to succeed, because you guys think about that stuff. So many people just throw stuff up and like, okay,
look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah. Write that on the wall. Get it in neon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is awesome.
All right, Sean. Well, we don't want to keep you for much longer.
You made me so fucking hungry too. So.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's another thing. I can't watch your videos hungry. Watch it while I'm eating something, or if I'm like about to order something, because then it'll give me an idea.
That's right. Absolutely.
But yeah, I can't do it hungry, because then I'm like, dude, I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh, now I have to order something.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
But thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you guys.
You can follow him at Hey Sean Ely everywhere on social media, and check out Number 6 with Cheese. And then also they got merch and new hot sauce coming in.
Yeah, hot sauce. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch for that hot sauce.
Yeah, they're both available on the site now. So if you want to like get them today, they'll literally ship out. So like you can do it now.
All right.
Yeah, number6withcheese.com.
All right, perfect. So. Thank you again for coming on. Thanks for your time. And this has been awesome.
All right, go drink Malort.
Yep. Yeah.
Bye.